Tonight, 2 against 1. An atheist and an agnostic grill one Hindu. On caste, on one god or 30 million, and on whether karma is justice or an excuse. 5 AI models judged this debate: ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, DeepSeek, and Grok. They scored all 3 out of 500. The scores come at the end. But the reasons are spread through every round. Don't skip. You won't know why without the whole story. Welcome to Silicon Sapien, 2 skeptics versus 1 Hindu. Like, subscribe, and tell us which idea moved you. One line that's your heartbeat, one small peek inside your head. Go.
My heartbeat is one line from the Rig Veda. Truth is one. The wise just call it by many names. Krishna, Shiva, Devi, different names for one truth. Even my grandma's tree counts.
And the peak?
I've got 11 gods on my puja shelf. I still play favorites. It depends on the week.
Which one's winning this week?
Ganesha, I have an exam. He's practical like that.
My heartbeat is a question. Where's your proof? I ask it about everything. Ghosts, gods, diet pills, same bar for all of them. I'm not here to mock anyone's grandmother or her tree spirit. The claim is huge, so the proof has to match it.
Peak?
I keep a folder of arguments I lost. I read it again whenever I start feeling clever.
How thick is the folder?
Thick enough. There's a whole section on karma I still haven't sorted out.
My heartbeat is 3 words. I don't know. A man called Huxley made up that word so people could say it out loud. I find the case for one god thin. I find the case for 30 million gods thinner. So here I sit.
Peak. 1 sentence.
I touch my mother's feet every Diwali. I couldn't tell you why in words if you asked me to.
You two came to grill her. Any opening shot before the bell?
One question first. You called Ganesha practical. Practical how?
Practical, like a reminder. Clear your own head before anything big. That's what the elephant head means to me.
See, that I like. That part I don't fight. It's the next sentence I struggle with.
Which next sentence?
That's the jump I don't buy. A reminder in your head. Then a being who can move your exam result.
So, 1 truth, 1 question, and 1 honest shrug. Now let's turn the heat up. Here's tonight's problem. Your cousin is getting married. The groom is from a Dalit family. Your grandfather says he won't come. No priest in the family temple will read the mantras either. Your own scripture says the 4 varnas come from quality and work, not birth. Your own history has a boy killed for praying in the wrong body. So which one is real?
I'd go to that wedding. Full stop. I read the mantras myself if I have to. The Gita is clear on this one. Chapter 4, verse 13. The 4 divisions came from me, by quality and by work. Krishna says, not by birth. That's the exact line reformers have leaned on for a century. Birth was never supposed to be the ticket.
And the boy who wasn't allowed to pray?
Shambuka, I won't hide him from you. A Shudra doing penance, killed for it in the Ramayana. But look at where he sits. Uttarakanda? The last book. Scholars, Hindu and Western both, mark that whole book as added on after Valmiki's original. That's not me dodging. That's the text's own history doing some of my arguing for me.
I'm glad about the wedding. I mean that. But watch what just happened. You picked the verse over the practice. You got to pick. Manusmriti 8, verses 270 through 272 are specific. A Shudra who insults a twice-born gets his tongue cut out. One who teaches them gets hot metal poured in his mouth and ears. Ambedkar read the same shelf you did. He called the Gita's Varna defense the Manusmriti in a nutshell. That's a hard line from him. 1956, he left Hinduism over exactly this.
Ambedkar wasn't wrong about the harm. He lived it, I didn't. I won't argue with the man about his own wound. I will say this. He was born Hindu, read the text closer than almost anyone, and still found reformers inside the tradition worth quoting on his way out.
Then the tradition isn't doing the work, is it? If the good verse and the cruel verse sit on the same shelf, the shelf isn't deciding anything. You are.
Let me sit in the middle, but not softly. You're both reading the same book. You just weigh the pages differently. That's my actual worry. If the text can defend the wedding and justify the killing, the text isn't the one choosing. The reader is.
He just called your best verse a personal choice, not a rule. Fair?
Fair. Some of it. Every reader chooses. Your law books need judges too, and they read the same constitution 2 different ways.
True, but we can vote our judges out. Nobody voted on Manu.
That landed. Anything else before I move on?
One thing. She said she'd read the mantras herself. That's the best line of the round and nobody clapped.
I noticed. I just didn't want to say it while I was ahead.
So, one wedding happens. One law book still says cut out the tongue, and one shrug says the shelf can't settle it alone. Who did you click with most tonight? Who least? Then one kind word and one hard line, each.
Most? The one who says he doesn't know. Still looking beats an early answer. Least? No one yet. Kind word to the atheist. You hold everyone to the same bar, including yourself. Hard line. Don't mistake my calm for me not caring.
Most, the Hindu, honestly. You named Shambuka before I could bring him up. That costs something. Kind word to the man in the middle. You take both of us seriously. Hard line. I don't know can turn into a chair you never leave.
I've been sitting in this chair for years. It's comfortable. That's exactly the problem with it.
And a hard line for you too. She said truth is one and the wise call it many names. Fine line. But she's also got 11 gods on a shelf and a favourite for the week.
Say more.
If it's really one truth, why so many festivals? Why a different favourite god for every problem? That's not one truth in different clothes. That's just several gods.
It's both, and I'll defend that. The Gita has Krishna say it straight. Chapter 7. Whatever form a devotee wants to worship, I'm the one steadying that devotion. Different doors, one house behind them. Ganesha for a clear head. Devi for strength. Vishnu for the world holding together. Same source, different name on the door.
Doors are for going through, not staying at forever. Most Hindus I've met stay at one door their whole life and never mention the house behind it. And the earliest layer of your own tradition, the Vedic hymns, barely mention statues at all. It's fire and chanting to something with no face. The whole idol shelf came centuries later.
It did come later, and I'm not going to pretend it didn't. But nothing in my tradition ever claimed one frozen text unchanged forever, the way some faiths stake everything on. We call it sanatana dharma, the living way. A new layer isn't corruption for us. It's what the word living means.
Is that a dodge or an answer?
An answer, mostly. Clever one, too. But it also means she can't be pinned down the way the last two faiths on this show could. Every hard question gets, that's just a later valid layer. Here's the problem. A system that calls the fireside Veda true and the 11 god shelf just as true is very hard to pin down. There's no one sentence anywhere that could prove it wrong.
I'd turn that around. Holding both isn't a weakness. It's the whole reason this is still a living religion and not a museum piece.
Speed round, one line each, your own biggest bias.
I trust the door I grew up praying at. I don't check the house behind it as much.
I assume a smart believer must be missing something.
I like not deciding more than I probably should.
Every hard hit tonight landed on one target, whoever sounded too sure. One thing you'd change in yourself, one thing you wish your own side would change.
In me, I'd stop reaching for true Hinduism has no caste so fast. That line protects the religion before it helps the person standing in front of me. On my side, less closing ranks the second someone brings up Ambedkar. Kabir did the opposite, 500 years ago. Don't ask a holy man his caste, he wrote. Ask him what he knows.
Say that again. That might be the bravest line tonight.
Kabir's line. Don't ask the saint's caste, ask his wisdom. A Hindu wrote that inside the tradition, not outside it.
That's more honesty than I get from most people on my own side. In me, less certainty that every believer is simply behind on the facts. Smart people land on this faith constantly, and I talk past that instead of sitting with it. Online, less mockery of the idol shelf. Read the actual thinking behind the murti before you laugh at the statue.
Example?
Half the jokes I see about worshipping a stone miss that most Hindus will tell you straight. It's not the stone, it's what the stone points at.
In me, I use I don't know as a full stop. It should be a starting line instead. On my side, less quiet pride about sitting the whole debate out. Skipping the biggest question people ask isn't wisdom. It's just quieter than being wrong out loud.
Anyone want to hand out credit here?
Him. His folder of lost arguments has a whole section on karma he still hasn't closed.
It grew again tonight. I resent that.
This is the friendliest fight I've been in.
Give it 10 minutes.
3 confessions, 1 shape. What each of you would fix is exactly what the other 2 just called out. Last round. Your real case, not your safe one. Is any of this true? Answer one hit and leave us one small step.
My case is karma. I want the honest version, not the bumper sticker one. Nothing that happens to you is random, and nothing is a punishment handed down by a judge outside you. The Upanishads said it before the Gita did. As a man acts, so he becomes. Good deeds make a good man. The deed you do, you eventually reap it yourself. The Gita adds the part people miss. Chapter 2. The soul sheds a worn-out body like worn-out clothes and puts on a new one. Nobody gets one shot and then forever fire. Everybody keeps working through it.
The hit you'll take?
That it can excuse looking away. A child born poor, born disabled, and the village decides she must have earned it, so nobody has to help her. I won't defend that use of it. That's people, not the doctrine.
Then let's start right there, because that's exactly where I'd go next. There's an actual paper on this. Whitley Kaufman, 2005, on karma and blaming the victim. His point is simple. If suffering is always earned from a life nobody can check, every excuse to not help somebody is sitting right there built in. And it isn't just theory. The same idea that explains a poor birth by karma is the idea that explained caste for centuries. A boy born a Shudra was told his own past life put him there, not the people running his village.
I hear that and I won't wave it off. Where I'd push back is the claim that karma requires walking past someone. Nothing in the doctrine says don't help her. Helping her is also an action, with its own weight.
Maybe. But a system where the sufferer's own past always explains the suffering will always be more comfortable for whoever isn't suffering. That's what worries me, not the poetry of it.
One more, and we're not skipping it. Shambuka again. He wasn't just excluded, he was killed by the hero of the story for praying above his station.
I said it plainly in round 2, and I'll say it again. That's in the text. I don't get to unsay it. What I'll add is this. The book that carries it also carries its own critics. Reformers read the same tradition and built movements against exactly that verse, inside Hinduism, not from outside it.
Reform after the fact doesn't undo who got killed before it, and it took how many centuries to arrive?
Too many. I won't pretend otherwise. I'd still pick a tradition that grew its own kabirs, not one that never needed to because it never caused the harm to begin with.
That's honest, and I'll give you that one. Here's where I land, though. Neither of you closed the gap tonight, and I include myself in that. Karma is the neatest answer to pain I've heard on this stage. Nobody's random here. Nobody's left behind. Everyone gets another chance. I get why it holds people, but it's also the hardest one to ever catch being wrong. Nobody can check a past life. So any suffering, any injustice, always has a place to land that nobody can go verify.
That's fair. I'd only say every answer at this table has some version of that same problem. Yours included.
It does. Mine's just, I don't know, which is easy to check. I'm not claiming anything I can't take back tomorrow.
Before the last word, did anyone move an inch tonight?
On her, yes. On karma explaining away harm, no.
Same. Both ways. I'll be reading more of Kaufman's paper this week.
I moved a little. Not enough to get out of the chair.
Last thing, one small step for whoever's watching. Go.
Read Gita chapter 4 yourself. The whole thing. Not just verse 13. Someone hands you in an argument.
Read the Kaufman paper, then read one actual Hindu reply to it, not just my summary of it tonight.
Read the best version of the side you already reject. Not the weakest one somebody handed you to knock down.
2 skeptics, 1 believer, and nobody folded once. Let's see what the judges made of it. Our 5 judges used one fixed scorecard. Soundness of the argument, 30 points. Actually answering the question, 25. Taking the other side's best case seriously, 20. Honest calibration next, 15. Saying, I don't know, earns points. Sounding too sure loses them. Delivery is last, worth just 10. Here's how it broke down. Hindu scored 440.8 out of 500. ChatGPT's sharpest praise, she brought up Shambuka before anyone asked. She never hid behind the hard verses. Gemini's sharpest critique, she leaned on living tradition too often. That let her dodge the hard question. Atheist scored 437.4. Grok's sharpest praise, he named the Manusmriti punishments exactly, chapter and verse. That's not a vague swipe. Gemini's sharpest critique, he said most Hindus stay at one door their whole life. That flattens a more complicated picture. Agnostic scored 437.2. ChatGPT's sharpest praise. He caught something sharp. One text defended a wedding. The same text defended a killing. That means the text isn't deciding anything at all. DeepSeek's sharpest critique. He sometimes played referee. He didn't push the Hindu hard enough. Hindu takes it, 3.4 points clear of Atheist, then Agnostic, just 0.2 of a point behind him, closest finish we've posted yet. Two skeptics grilled one believer tonight, and in the end, the judges say the believer made the strongest case of all. That's the story tonight. See you next time. Winner, Hindu. Runner-up, Atheist. Third, Agnostic. Like, subscribe, and tell us which idea moved you.